How often in the last year did you come home and realize you didn't physically touch any other human being all day? Not a hug, not a handshake, nothing. Have you noticed that you can talk to people all day and still feel like nobody actually knows you? That feeling when the conversation ends and nothing stays. Have you ever caught yourself scrolling, but not because you're interested, but because silence feels worse? If you recognize this, you're not broken. You're reacting normally to an abnormal way of living we have right now. Loneliness today is not rare, it's not pathological, and it's not a personal failure. It's a predictable result of a digital life. This happened during COVID. Real life interaction was deliberately restricted. Physical contact was cut, public space was emptied, people were isolated by policy, not by choice. And a lot of those habits never fully came back. Interaction became rarer, more effort, more risk, more rejection. So people replaced real communication with addictions, endless live streams, trash content, paid attention. Things that don't require presence and don't reject you. That's why loneliness today feels different. It's not about not talking enough, it's about not being touched, seen, or mirrored by another human being. And once your nervous system adapts to these kind of conditions, real interaction starts to feel risky and exhausting. That's the actual problem. So now let's talk about what helps, not in theory but in practice. First, dating apps. They're not broken. They're working exactly as they're designed. They turn people into profiles. They reward waiting instead of acting. They teach you observe, not participate. And at the same time, women openly complain everywhere that men stopped approaching them in public space, in real life, not online but offline, in cafes, in malls, on the streets. Right. So here is the most unromantic practical advice you will hear today. Stop overthinking and go to mall, see a woman who passed, say something normal, a compliment, one sentence. No strategy, no pickup line, no escalation plan. The bar is so low now that basic human presence already feels unusual. You're not bothering anyone, you're not creepy for existing. Dating apps trained people to be passive. Reality still rewards action. Now, before we get to paid interaction, we need to talk about the body because loneliness is not only emotional, but it's also physical. After lockdowns, a lot of people lost regular physical contact, not sex, but like normal contact. Handshakes, you casual touch, being close to other bodies. This created a massive wave of touch deprivation. People became flatter emotionally, more anxious, more restless, and you cannot talk your way out of that. That's why massage works. Not as a luxury, as a maintenance. Regular massage, body work, anything that brings safe, structured touch back into your life. Same with self massage pressure tools, weight blankets, warm bath, slow physical routines. Your nervous system doesn't respond to explanations, it responds to sensation. Strip clubs work for the same reason, and pretending otherwise is dishonest. Live bodies, movement, proximity. No delusions about love, no pretending. This is same. This is something else. It's regulated stimulation, and for many people, it's far less hurt and destructive than emotional attachment to a fantasy. And now, OnlyFans. Let's talk about it properly. Most men don't realize that on these adult platforms, they are not talking to the person on the photos, especially if that's a million followers model. They are talking to chatters, dudes who follow the script. That's not a secret, that's the industry. But on OnlyFans profiles with less followers like mine, you're talking to me only, so you can have a vibe of privacy and, make a video call with real person, not a team, not a manager or role. Live conversation, real interaction, presence. And if you are choosing this way of attention, this is one of the few formats where actually know who's on the other side. Not not as a replacement for life, but as a controlled, honest way to relieve emotional hunger without lying to yourself. Now, some more things people don't usually say out loud. If you're lonely, get a pet. Not for love, not for regulation. Animals provide physical contact, routine, a sense of being needed. They stabilize your nervous system so you stop desperately searching for people. Another thing that works surprisingly well, professional cuddle therapy. Yes, it exists. And yeah, it's awkward to talk about it, but it works. Because again, this is about touch, not romance. Like saunas, hammams, spas, places where bodies exist together without performance also help more than endless conversations never will. And finally, stop being ashamed of needing contact. Independence does not mean emotional starvation. The goal is not to eliminate loneliness, that's unrealistic. The goal is to stop feeding it with illusions. Choose contact that exists in reality. Choose formats that don't lie to you. Choose tools that stabilize instead of addict. Because pretending you don't need people always costs more than admitting that you do.